All right, here's more of the press conference now, apparently about the Dunkin Donuts.
What was going on? Alerted an officer who came in and did a search of the business and found a victim lying deceased in the kitchen area, the female victim in this case. Through our investigation, we ultimately identified her husband as the suspect. We've since put his picture out to the public, and we're actively considering him dangerous, and we're looking for him. We're not ruling out whether he was on foot or not. We do not have any vehicle information at this time, so we don't want to assume this person's in a vehicle. He did live in the area. He did work at the Dunkin Donuts. He worked there with his wife, the victim here. We're treating this as not being random. We're treating it as a domestic-related incident. And again, we're looking for him and not ruling out anything. The fact that he could be local, he might not be at this time. So call that number that we mentioned earlier, that tip line at 410-222-4700 if you know where this person is. Again, we put the picture out there of who he is. We've got an arrest warrant for him. He's been charged with second and first degree murder and also first and second degree assault and some related charges as well in this incident.
What can you tell us about the past history of the domestic issues between this couple?
Well, just to be clear on something I said about that this morning, there was a report of a domestic incident at the residence they were staying at. That was back in December. So not necessarily a domestic between them. That was how the call came out. So apparently somebody, a neighbor, had heard some loud noises or banging. So that was just a report of a possible domestic incident, just to clarify that. But again, the focus right now is trying to locate this person who's out there somewhere. Again, we've got that picture out there. It's being treated as a domestic-related incident. Again, the victim was found in the kitchen area. We believe that she was struck by this individual with an object, but because of where that investigation is right now, I cannot elaborate on what that object was.
Is he known to the police department at all in any way?
I don't have particulars on that. I don't.
You mentioned that since this morning you've been putting out information, posting these pictures. Can you tell us, what the status is of the number of calls that you've received or any tips that are coming in?
I don't have a particular number, but we urge them to come in. Call. If you want to call Metro Crime Stoppers, you can do so at 1-866-7-LOCK-UP and be anonymous. Again, we have that tip line established. However you want to do it. If you just feel like you saw something suspicious, you've made contact with the couple before, you want to give investigators some details about it, we want to hear from you because ultimately he killed his wife last night. So we want to locate this person. We do have an arrest warrant for him. We want to get him off the street. But as far as people in the area and businesses in the area, we want them to know this is an isolated incident. It's not random. It's domestic in nature. We dedicate a lot of resources out there this morning. You've probably seen aviation unit up and about, K9, ground units. We have patrol out there as well. So we're still looking for this individual. It's important that we find him and get him off the street.
Do you believe he's getting help from somebody out there? He lives in the area. He's got friends. He's got family.
We don't know that, but I stressed this morning, if you're thinking about aiding and abetting, don't do it. If you harbor this person, that's a crime. If you assist him in any way. If you know where he's at or you think you know where he's at, contact the police department. We want to hear from you.
Do you know the relationship with the owners of Dunkin Donuts?
I could just tell you that the suspect is the husband, and they were both employees of the business.
But as far as the owners, you don't know how they're related to the owners?
I don't have particulars on that. Yeah.
This morning you said you would be looking at any potential surveillance video that you find. Can you tell us at all what investigators have seen or have found on surveillance video at this point?
I'm not at liberty to get into that right now, but certainly that would be part of the investigation, along with any potential witnesses who will be interviewed, any evidence collected at the scene. But not much has changed since I spoke about it this morning, and we just want to get information out. Yes, sir.
Any indication of how much time expired from the time that the person came to you guys to identify or?
I don't have an exact timetable, but that's something that investigators routinely do. They try to backtrack and piece together, when was this person last seen, who last saw them, et cetera. So we're asking if there's any potential witnesses out there, anybody that was a patron of the store last night around that time period, if they have some information to share, we want to hear from them.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Just follow up. Not the stereotype, but it looks like he was a foreign national. Is there any chance that he could be a flight risk?
We're not ruling anything out. We're not ruling out the fact that he may still be local. He could be on foot. We do not have any vehicle information at this point. There's no indication of a vehicle. But again, we're urging people, don't assist this person. Don't pick him up. Don't aid him. If you think you know where he is, give us a ring.
Since he is a foreign national, have you taken the steps of alerting the airports, anybody else, to try and prevent any kind of flight?
That's routine. That's something routine investigators do. They reach out to local law enforcement. Look at every avenue if this person is a potential risk to leave the area, et cetera. So those are things that investigators routinely do.
Can you tell us anything about what may have led to this attack? Was there anything in Mr. Patel's life, a change in job, or something that you believe may have led him to kill his wife?
I don't have that information at this time, but certainly that would be something that they're going to look into as well. Any past issues between the two, anybody that knew him, those would be people that they would want to hear from.
Chelsea, did he own the store, this husband and wife? Was he part of a family that owned the store?
I don't know the extent of that. I can tell you that they both worked there, and the husband and wife, and they both resided in the area, in the same residence in the Hanover area, not too far.
You also said in your press release there were several witnesses that were located and transported and interviewed. Do we believe that there were people actually in the store at the time this happened? Were there any other employees?
Well, I can tell you, again, we were alerted by a patron who came up to an officer in the area and said something unusual is going on here. And the nature of it being unusual is the fact that there were no employees in there at a time where the store was open and they should have been behind the counter. So, again, that was a proactive citizen, reaching out to law enforcement saying something's not right here. And they were right.
Thank you.
And that was more on the second crime that we've heard about today, and that has that going on in Hanover there, where the manhunt continues this afternoon for the suspect in the murder of his wife, a woman who was killed inside the Dunkin Donuts there early this morning, 21-year-old Palak Patel, the dead woman, and that is her husband, and that is the man for whom they are searching right now. You heard that it was by all accounts, a very brutal crime in there. A woman was killed apparently in the back of the store, and that's sort of how they found out that there was something wrong when that one citizen who found a police officer and said, hey, the store is open, but I can't find anybody inside the place. Apparently, there had been a previous, you heard it referred to as a domestic call. Not sure if the husband and wife were the subject of that call at their residence last year. But again, these two cases, the shooting of Corporal Larry Adams, in which a second arrest has been made, and the continued manhunt for the suspect in the murder of 21-year-old Palak Patel at that donut shop in Hanover.